Welcome back to my channel Life in Germany 983. Today we will cover the other half of the Herbst festival in Germany. As the warm season draws to a close, it slowly gets colder outside and the days get shorter. The sun's rays are now noticeably cooler, an unmistakable sign that autumn is beginning. In the temperate zones of the earth, autumn is the transition period between summer and winter. The leaves on the trees are now turning bright colors, and many types of the grain and fruit are now ripe. It is harvest time. The falling of leaves in autumn. Why do the leaves of trees change color and why do they fall? In autumn, the trees prepare for the cold season. The leaf pigment chlorophyll is broken down and other pigments are formed instead. A layer of cork forms between the branch and the leaf, which is no longer supplied with nutrients and water, and falls off. In summer, the leaves of the trees are still really green, but in they change to various shades of red, orange, and yellow. The plants are now preparing for winter. As autumn sets and the days become shorter again and it becomes noticeably cooler at night, this is a signal for the plants to break down the plant's substance chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, which is stored in the branches and trunk, is responsible for the green color of the leaves. Other substances can now be built up, such as the pigment carotenoid, which turns the leaves orange. Each autumn color can be attributed to a different substance. When the breakdown of the green leaf pigment has finished, a layer of cork forms between the branch and the leaf. The leaf is no longer supplied with nutrients and water and falls off. But why do the leaves have to fall from the trees in winter? If you take a closer look at green leaf, you will see that it also contains a lot of water. In winter, the water in the leaves would freeze and the leaf would be destroyed. This also applies to the trunk as it stores a lot of water, and the water in the ground freezes as well, meaning the tree can no longer absorb water. Therefore, the trees stop their activities such as growth and the formation of leaves, flowers, or fruit, and take a winter break. The situation is different from evergreen conifers such as firs or yews. In contrast to the leaves of the deciduous trees, their needles are equipped with an insulating wax layer that protects them from the cold and allows them to store water inside. Therefore, the trees do not have to shed their needles to survive the winter. Animals in autumn. Some animals, such as squirrels, stock up on food in the fall for the long time for the cold winter. They are now busy collecting nuts. The beginning of autumn is an active and busy time for many animals because now they have to make preparations for winter. Some have to stock up on supplies, others have to eat their fill to prepare for hibernation, and still others, the migratory birds, set off on their journey south. When it starts to get colder outside, this is a signal for many birds to set off. Storks, nightingales, ducks, and swallows travel through thousands of kilometers to reach their destination. Many of them spend the winter in Africa or the Mediterranean. Squirrels have to gather a lot of supplies in the autumn because they do not hibernate but merely go into winter dormancy. They sleep a lot in the winter, but they keep waking up and eating food that they have collected and buried in the autumn, such as nuts, acorns, or beech nuts. They do not always use up all of their supplies, and so squirrels also help some plants to reproduce. Hedgehogs are also looking for food at this time in order to put on a good layer of fat for the winter and to have enough reserves during hibernation. It's also pretty foggy in autumn. In autumn, it is often foggy in the mornings because the sun is still strong during the day, but the ground cools down considerably at night. Therefore, you have to be even more careful in traffic. In autumn, it often gets foggy, but why is that? During this transitional season, the sun still heats the earth well during the day, but this heat is released again by the ground during the cool nights. In the early morning, when the first rays of sun hit the ground and has cooled down so much that it is colder than the air. This means that the layer of air directly above the ground also cools down. The lower layers are now colder than those above. Cold air cannot absorb water vapor as well, so it condenses. This means that the small droplets form which we perceive as fog. The word fog has both Greek and Latin roots and means cloud. In autumn, it is often still dark in the morning on the way to work or school. If it is also raining or foggy, you have to be very careful and pay attention so that you can be seen by drivers in time. For example, you have to dress accordingly. It is best to wear light and reflective clothing or reflective attachments on your school bag. You have to be careful when cycling as the roads can become slippery due to the wet leaves. Autumn is also known as the pumpkin time. Every year in October, you can admire and eat many pumpkins in a variety of shapes and colors. The typical Halloween pumpkin is hollowed out and used as a lantern. Every year in autumn, you can admire and, of course, eat many pumpkins in all different shapes and colors. The typical Halloween pumpkin is large, round, and orange. On Halloween, it is hollowed out, turned into a scary face, and used as a lantern. The Halloween tradition originally comes from the ancient Celts. When many Irish people, their descendants, emigrated to the US in the 19th century, they brought the tradition to North America. There, the tradition changed again and found its way back to Europe at the end of the 20th century. The pumpkin as a plant is very old. Fossilized seeds have been found that they date back to around 10,000 BC. The pumpkin is therefore the oldest cultivated crop in the world. However, it did not reach Europe until much later when the explorer Christopher Columbus took it with him to Spain at the beginning of the 16th century. Today, there are more than 850 different varieties. A pumpkin can weigh up to 150 kilograms and be 3 meters wide, so that they would feed quite a few people. Did you know that pumpkins are berries? This includes all fruits that have a lot of seeds in the flesh. Cucumbers and tomatoes are therefore also related to pumpkins. However, many pumpkins that are cultivated today cannot be eaten. They're also called. That's it from me for today. Till the next time. And I hope you liked the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment my channel if you think it's worth it. Till the next time, cheerio.